Welcome back to 3.3 podcast, where we're teaching you how to do some dimensional analysis or unit conversions. We're stepping up the difficulty on these things, and it's really not any more difficult than any other type of conversion. It's just taking more steps. And the cool thing about using this method is that if you have a set of conversions in front of you, as long as you get the units to divide out properly, you're going to come up with the same answer, the correct answer. You can do these lots of different ways, and then this next example number 5, we're going to show you how that works. All right. So the question says, how many centimeters are in 3.1 miles? All right. So we're going to write down our 3.1 miles. There you go, 3.1 miles. And again, we're going to centimeters. So I'm going to put this all the way over here. Put a dividing line so we don't cross over. All right, now, again, you don't necessarily have this conversion sheet in front of you, or it's not on the screen. So let me write down a couple conversions that you may or may not be familiar with. We're going to write down 1 meter equals 1.0936 yards. We're going to write down 1 centimeter, and you don't have to write these down because they should be on a sheet in your lab manual, or you can download these. 1 centimeter equals 0.39370 inches. You can have 1 inch equals exactly 2.54 centimeters. That's an exact measurement. You can have 1 kilometer equaling 0.62137 miles. We'll kind of get that in there. We're starting to, here, let's put it in a little box this way. There we go. And we'll also have 1 mile equaling 5,280 decimal feet. And it also equals 1.6093 kilometers. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do this conversion. Again, we're going to do it several different ways. That way we can see the fact that as long as you get the units to divide out properly, you're going to be all right. So how do you go between miles and centimeters? Well, you say, I don't know where to go. Well, just pick something. If you notice down here, it says 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. Let's just go ahead and try that one and see where it leads. You don't have to know how to do the entire conversion when you start it. Just work your way across. So we want to have 1 mile on the bottom because we want them to divide out. So we have 5,280, that should be an 8 there, there we go, feet on top. Miles divide out. Now we're left with feet. Do we know how to go from feet to centimeters? Well, no, we don't know how to go from feet to centimeters, but we do know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So we want the feet on the bottom so that they can divide out. We'll put the 12 inches on top. Excuse me. And now the feet have divided out. We're in inches. Can we go from inches to centimeters? Yes, we can. We have 2 conversions that we can use. We can use this one here or this one here. I'm going to use the second one just because. It doesn't matter which one you use. We want inches on the bottom, so we'll put 1 inch on the bottom and 2.54 centimeters on top. And so now the inches divide out, of course. You're left with centimeters. You're looking for centimeters, and so you're ready to do the calculation. It is going to be 3.1 times 5,280 feet times 12 times 2.54, and it looks like we're getting 498,886. 498,896 centimeters. And if you round this to the proper number of sig figs, the first term has 2, which is the lowest amount. So if you have the 4 and the 9 that you need, the 8 will round this 9 up, so the 49 becomes 50. So it looks like we have 500,000 centimeters. Now, this is actually something interesting. I didn't actually plan for this. Both of those two are significant, but if you write it as 500,000, it doesn't show that zeros being significant. So the only way that you can show zeros significant in a situation like this is to write it in scientific notation. So I would write this as 5.0 times 10 to the 5th centimeters, and that shows it as 2 sig figs. All right. Now, we said that there's a different way that you can do this. So let's go ahead and show you that. 3.1 miles, and again we are going to centimeters. Well, you don't have to change miles into feet. You could change it into kilometers. And if I multiply this by, well, let's just use this top kilometers to miles. You could use this one as well, but I'm going to use the top one. I'm going to have 1 kilometer on top and my 0.62137 miles on the bottom. The miles on top divide out with miles on the bottom. I'm left with kilometers. I want to go to centimeters. Now we're into the metric conversions. The metric conversions we talked about in 3.2. There are 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. So the kilometers divide out. And there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So the meters divide out. Those are metric conversions that you kind of need to know. Although we'll talk about which metric conversions that you do need, but kilo and centi you should know. So now you're left with multiplying, you're down to centimeters, which is what you're looking for. You need to multiply numerators and divide by denominators. So it's going to be 3.1 times 1 divided by 0.62137 times 1,000 times 100, and I'm getting 498,897 centimeters. It's not exactly the same as this one because there's a 6 there and there's a 7 there, but when you round it to the proper number of sig figs, which has to be 2 because of that first term, this once again, you have 49, and the 8 will round that 49 up to 500,000 centimeters, or 5.0 times 10 to the 5th centimeters. Now, we are out of room on the page, but try it. Try using different methods. Use different conversions and see if you do come up with 500,000 centimeters. I guarantee you that if you have all of your units divided out properly, you will come up with the same number that I did. Alright, that is the great thing about dimensional analysis, is that you have to think about it as a game. And if you do that, think of it as a game where you use conversion factors like these to change the units over, getting your units to divide out top and bottom, multiplying by numerators, dividing by denominators. Have some fun with it. You'll be able to do some fairly complex questions long before you even understand the whole science behind it. All right. Now, scrolling down here, in the next podcast, we are going to be converting some complex units, and I hope you'll enjoy that. We'll see you in the next podcast.